Hi, I'm DJ Amakri, and hopefully nobody will call me during this tutorial. Anyways, I'm doing a tutorial video. Today is a tutorial request video. It is off my Facebook page. And yes, you have to be a part of the Facebook to do a tutorial request. It's the only way I can keep up with it or think of keeping up with it, other than because I get too many emails and it's god doggone mother flubber. But anyways, it's it's the only way I can keep up with stuff. So, just go to my Facebook page, right here. And this is the pin post, how it looked like. And yeah, please believe it. Cool stuff. But anyways, yeah, I'm doing, doggone it, no. Drevon Johnson's request. Sorry, Brandon Jackson. No happy sound today. Well, I'm gonna get to you, Playboy. So anyways, yeah, I'm doing his request, which was how to make a riser effect. And so basically, I got Dune 2 pulled up. Dune 2, it's no secret here, is one of my favorites. And obviously is a lot of other people's favorites. So, let's talk about riser effects real quick and just sum it up. Riser effects, in a nutshell, if I just want to just give you a good example of a dope riser effect, Drummer Boy, Just Blaze, pretty much a lot of EDM music in general use riser effects. Lex Luger had probably one of the most dope signature riser effects in general. And yeah, so if you don't know, if you listen to his song, the song that he got the most famous for, which would probably be, well, dang, got some classes with Waflaka. But anyways, he had a song called BMF that was a Rick Ross song called BMF. And yeah, he had a quintessential sound that came in either at the end of his tracks, and it was a riser effect. But anyways, so how do you make that? We're gonna go, and I'm just gonna start by initializing the patch. Man, a lot of blessings, but goodness gracious, a lot of phone calls, man. So right now I initialize the patch, and you start off like this, and I'm gonna go to MSEG. MSEG, what that means is multiple segmented envelope graphic, and you get 4 of these in Dune 2, which makes this awesome. The only other plugin I think that's as dope as this would probably be Harmer, but anyways, we're doing this in Dune 2 because I haven't messed with. Anyway, so I highly recommend that you gotta left click on the furthest end to the left, and then you gotta double left click to all the way to the right. Now this by far is just a graphical representation of what you're going to do, because it is not mapped to anything. Now, I do have a tutorial on just explaining how Dune 2 works in general, which, mind you, is free. So I'm gonna go play the placeholder track right here. Just something, demo track that I'm gonna apply the riser to once I'm finished. Oh boy. Yeah, I was just trying to do something real quick. Don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me. Anyways, so we have that here, that we have this graphical envelope drawn. So, by default, your default sound when you start off anything and you do initial patch is a sawtooth. As you can see, it's cycled through it. And, basically, just let you know how it's going to cycle through. Now, it is not doing anything. Yes, I know that. So what we're going to do is this right now. We're going to go to the mod matrix. The mod matrix is very important in this period, because, you could, now you still would have to use the mod matrix. Now, we're going to select something here. And we're selecting a source. So what is the source going to be? And I'm looking for it. The first source obviously is the MSEG So, and we used the first one. Now you have to adjust the amount. Just put it at 100. It won't matter at this point, you know. And then now you got to choose a destination. Now this is the tricky part, because you know, since you're using making a riser effect, you can use the semitone, which will have it, you know, or the fine, which would be. But obviously, the semitone, you know, would be the best choice for this particular representation or particular tutorial. So, you know, we select that. Usually, and see in voice, and what voice means is if we click on that, you see there's 1 through 8. Now you have these pages right here. Obviously, it's 1 through 8. So yeah, you can select a voice, and you know, you get a whole bunch of choices, but just select one. Now, what do we have here? We're gonna actually hear the sound now. That is too fast, so we're gonna go and now there's a couple of things that you can do to make this riser effect something more appealing than that. Because right now it is pretty darn boring. Now, what you can do once you know, since you're already on page 1, or you can be on all, you know, because we're just doing a riser effect at this point anyways, and a simple one. We're going to increase the amount of voices. Now, you can actually see the amount of voices right here being increased in the unison voices. And there's other things that you can do to make it more interesting, but we're just going to go and, you know, see one. You see? Now, it's a little bit more interesting than it was a second ago or a while ago. All right, we have 726. So now, the other thing that you want to do, that you could do in Dune 2, which makes one of the things that makes Dune 2 so sexy, is changing different parts of how your unison voices are shaped. Now you have random and Gassan, whatever. I guess that's Gassan, which, you know, as you can see the different parts of the voices are mapped in such a way that one part plays like this, one part plays a little higher than the other one, giving more interesting tones, different tones to that sawtooth. Now, it's not quite as obvious, but yes, it's pretty darn cool. Now, other things that you can do to it, you know, we'll just go and the other things you can do to it is you can detune it. You know, detune is going to spread some of the pitches out, as you can see right here. Now, let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and play that real quick. It might help if I unmute that. So we're going to play 3, 2, 1. As you can see, and it's probably piping hot in your ears, so I'm just going to go ahead and make a few adjustments real quick, and then I'm going to turn this down just a tad right here. So we're going to go play it one more time, and it probably might help if I can actually just see it. Now, you know, what if, you know, just for kicks and giggles, and, you know, we're, you know, kind of at 10 minutes here, so I'm probably losing viewership as I go. We're going to go and mess with certain things in arpeggiation. So I'm turning on arpeggiation period just to see how it is. I'm experimenting right now. Let's turn it back on. So I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm not gonna. I'll say that for another tutorial. But yeah, that's pretty much how you could just make a riser effect. But there's other things that you can do to it that will make it more interesting. And here's another thing. Hey, we got another envelope to work with as I struggle. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna just draw another envelope. Once again, I highly recommend that if you're trying to learn more about Dune 2 and for free, because I did one for free, I did a tutorial on my playlist and I explain everything. Yeah, and it doesn't cost you a dime. And a lot of people are mad because of that too. Sonic Academy. But anyways, yeah, so we got another graphical representation here, and I'm going to go into the My Matrix again. And we're going to select that. And we're going to select that particular envelope, which is MSEG2. Now we're going to put the amount to 100. And now we're going to select, instead of selecting oscillator 1 semitone, we're going to select the volume. And we're going to go ahead and experiment with that. Let's see how it sounds. And might help if I loop it. Now, if you want your semitone to slide up a little faster, you can change the rate right here, which will change the speed of it. Or if you just want to make it go down, you can do this. Now, my last but not least thing that you can do to make your riser effect somewhat more interesting than just what it is right now is that you can mess with different waveforms. You could choose a pulse. You don't got to necessarily use a saw. You can, use a triangle. You can even go into the wavetables and have at it right there with some of the stuff in the wavetables. Just go ahead and select it. You got many of things you can select in Dune 2. In Dune 2.4. So. And, you could. And the last but not least, obviously, I said last but not least, is you can go into your effects bus and turn on the reverb, and then just mess with the reverb and have at it there. And please believe it, like Dune 2 has some of the best reverb and effects in the business. So I'm gonna go back to this right here. And I'm going to go and adjust the envelope again, back to what it was. And I'm going to change the rate and make it slower. I think it was a little bit slower than that. So that's basically about it. So Drevon, shout outs for you liking the page. So if you have any questions or, if you like what you saw, give it a like. You know what? Please do. If you have any comments, questions, ask. feel free. And if this is the first video that you have saw by me, I have plenty of other videos where they're much more interesting than riser effects, but you know, a lot of people don't know about it. So, you know, respect the kid for asking, or not respect. I don't think he's a kid, but yeah. Respect the man for asking. Yeah. Anyways, it's your boy DJ McCree, and thank you once again, and have a nice day.